This is a technology and innovation project for Adam Newton. The rationale behind the poster is to generate a great impact on a wide target audience, as a poster is a high accessible medium to deliver a clear and informative message. This makes a poster an extremely efficient communication tool, as one document can deliver several messages. I have based my products on sports nutrition, as this is an area that can significantly affect performance and is of high interest to many athletes as they become more involved in sport. Nutrition in sport is an area where many people know little about and are given huge amounts of information which could not necessarily apply. Therefore, my aim of the project is to clarify and give specific, valid research advice on one section of nutrition in sport: hydration. The objective of the production process is to gather researched informative information of hydration in sport to create a poster. The first objective is to give an understanding of the importance of hydration within sport and the effects this has upon an athlete. The second objective is to convey why water is not enough for hydration within sport. The third objective is to allow readers to understand how they can lose water within sport and become dehydrated. The fourth and last objective is to give the readers a hydration strategy which can be applied to a variety of sports. To design the poster, I used a program called Zara Designer Pro X. Zara Designer is based on the world's most sophisticated, highest performance vector rendering engine. The direct action tools allow you to create effects such as transparency, shadows, bevels, or gradient fills in an interactive, fast and intuitive way. Its ultra-fast click-drag principle works with vector shapes, text and photos. Designer offers completely non-destructive photo editing. The photo tool includes innovative intelligent image scaling technology that allows content-aware scaling, meaning images can be stretched or squashed. To capture the videos, I will be using a program called Screencast. I use the program as it has clear editing, script and screenshot tools for me to change the video clips to how I want them. Screencast also allowed me to publish the videos to YouTube so that a QR code could be generated. To help create the screencast and edit the videos within the screencast, I used a program called Final Cut Pro. As I recorded a number of videos, Final Cut Pro allowed me to bring them all together in line with the audio I would record to make a smooth transition. By doing this, it meant that opening different files on the video was excluded, giving me more time to spend on the elements and steps behind the project. In consideration of the design, I started by firstly combining the feedback from the challenge poster in the module and a fact sheet of how to produce a high quality and effective poster. This fact sheet gave me 4 key steps in producing the poster. Step 1 is to decide on the main message of the poster, a message that I want the audience to remember after seeing the poster. From the feedback from the challenge, it identified that a clear, simple message is easier to understand the poster's meaning. As I am doing one section of sport nutrition, which is hydration, I needed to think how to make it simple but clear. Hydration for performance then became my title, as this tells the audience what the poster's meaning is, and with feedback from my developer group was easy to understand. The next step in creating the poster is to develop a structure, and with help from the book Alexander White, The Elements of Graphic Design, this led to the fundamental design of the poster, with ideas of good visual communication being displayed. Unity is the fact that all elements on the page must look like they belong together. Nothing can seem accidental or random. This led to the decision of creating boxes of the same colour on the poster to display the writing and title, unifying the work and making the work belong together. However, with regards to the variety of design and feedback from my developer group informing me the poster looked dull and unattractive, I needed to create a poster to grab attention and add life. This resulted in the idea of the background. A background that flows through the whole poster, linking the unified work together, catching the eyes of the readers and being aesthetically appealing was made. Here is the first sketch of the poster. Alexander White then moves on to the fundamental concept of space. He stated one of the biggest mistakes people make with posters is trying to fill every centimetre of space on a page. Space, often white space, is good. Dong Lee stated the more space you don't use on a page, the clearer the message. This led me to changing my original design and giving more space between the boxes and also around the header. Alexander stated that empty space also implies importance, elegance and professionalism. Therefore, with feedback from the challengers stating that making the work more spacious and the header clear, it made the work more pleasing and easier to read. I then decided to leave even more white space around the header, giving the impression of importance and professionalism. This header then leads into Alexander's next topic discussed, dominance. Allowing more white space to surround the box has given the header more dominance in the poster, revealing the clear message. Dominance, Alexander stated, is the same idea as contrast. You can create contrast on a page in many ways. For example, you can contrast colour, size and shape. If one item in a design is clearly dominant, this helps the viewer get the point of the design. Every good design has a strong and clear focal point. and having a clear contrast among elements helps. From this, I then created a title which clearly stated the message I wanted to get across from the whole poster. The second sketch of the poster was then drawn up. The last section of the fundamental concepts of a design Alexander discussed was balance. If a design is out of balance, the individual elements of the design will dominate the overall design. A well-balanced design suggested by White has a clear unified message. Alexander White points out that symmetrical balance is vertically centered and is equivalent on both sides. Kayla Knight stated that symmetrical design is more static and evokes feelings of formality. From this, I created a symmetrical design with boxes of text that are unified, creating the sense discussed as formality. The third sketch was then drawn up. The third step in designing the poster is to prepare the content. I had already gathered from research a huge amount of content around the area of hydration in sport. The fact sheet, however, gave me knowledge of how to use this content within the poster. It stated I needed to minimize the amount of text to blocks of 50 to 75 words. This involved me cutting the text down by clearing unambiguous text, using plain language, avoiding jargon and acronyms, whilst editing for clarity. After cutting the text down, the article's poster designs suggested on how to display the text by using only 2 or 3 types of colours and using only 1 or 2 types of font. From this, I decided to use only 2 colours, with one of the colours being red to stand out and make it clearer and easier to read for the audience. I used only 2 types of fonts. The fact sheet gave me the types of fonts that are pleasing and best to use for the body of the text. The fourth and last step of the fact sheet was use of visual elements to reinforce the message. The fact sheet stated illustrations and photographs should be clear and properly proportioned. Images files must be of high resolution. Adjusting the width and height of an image by dragging the image with the mouse can result in distortion. Instead, resize images using commands such as image size, scale, or fit content proportionately. From this, all my images were sized correctly and of high resolution. From the challenge poster, where I had used a JPEG image as my background, the feedback I received stated it was pixelated and unprofessional. Therefore, in my design, I used a picture which was a vector image, which allowed scaling of the image size to any size without loss of quality. Finally, I had to make a storyboard to show how I was going to lay out the video for the screencast. This involved several shots and multiple videos. Challenges I had with the poster was the fact that with the amount of text I had to cut down, was the work still informative and not too long at the same time? I wanted to keep the messages short so that the readers would have information to take away, however want to continue to read and be involved within the poster. Therefore, to overcome this, I decided to make use of bullet points to keep the work short and simple, also allowing many informative statements to be portrayed. The second challenge I had with the poster was the flow of the structure. I have different boxes of information. I needed to make sure that the first area on the poster the audience was drawn to was the header, then moving on to the rest of the information. However, with feedback from my developer group, this led to the discovery that with the use of the red colour for the writing in the paragraphs, the reader's eyes were drawn straight to the paragraphs instead of the header. To overcome this, I then changed the writing colour so that it still stood out, giving the option for the audience to read certain sections without being bored, but wasn't too dominant over the main message. Here is a list of references I used within the project.